You are now listening to an AI-enhanced podcast.
This is the R Words podcast, period. A competitive linguistic process, period.
Each participant receives a randomly assigned R word. The objective, use the word 3 times undetected, period.
Challenge protocol is available, period. A correct challenge disables opponent victory, period.
An incorrect challenge deactivates challenger privileges.
3 successful word usages initiate point allocation, period.
Score tracking is active. Optimal outcome, victory.
Listeners may engage in detection attempts, period.
Proceeding with conversation.
So the other day I was watching this show on Netflix, a new show actually.
Yeah.
And it's called Electrical State for maybe the people that already have watched it at home.
I don't think anyone's watched that show.
You don't think so?
No.
It's actually, to be fair, it's been quite new. It's like, it's out for like less than 2 weeks. But basically, so the whole thing that it's about, like I won't say too much about it without any spoilers, but like basically the preface of the whole thing is that the world asked more about robots, like to do more tasks for them. And the robots at one point, they just like, they start getting annoyed. Like, we don't want to do all this for you guys. We just want to live our life. So then the robots rebel, basically, just like Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And the robots basically defeat the humans, but then the humans want to defeat the robots again. So the only way they can win is by actually forming themselves in robots. So they put these like VR headsets on so they can like use like control a robot, and that's the way they eventually win the war, basically.
So you just spoiled the entire
No. This is literally the beginning 10 minutes of the entire movie. And the funny thing is they put these robots in this like how do you say that? Like a segregated area, basically, with like walls around it and everything. They put all the actual robots in there.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, right. And then they just like, they live on their lives in the human world in these VR headset kind of things, and basically no robots are allowed. And that's basically what the entire show is about, or the movie is about. It's like actually super interesting, kind of like psychology mixed with like robots, AI, and that kind of stuff.
Where does the psychology come in?
I would say, because to be fair, we talked about this in the last episode, that you said that do we actually want to do like mind reading? You know, right? It's like ethical kind of thing.
Yeah, but also whether we would ever be able to do it.
Yeah, and basically when you go into the VR world, it kind of like also reads your mind in like, what do you want to do? Because they don't have like actual controls. They just like, they think like, oh, I want to kill this person, and then the robot kills the person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's where the psychological thing is,
Yeah.
I think.
But this is possible. But then this isn't mind reading. Because the difference is that this is like, you're thinking about doing an action, and then the thing is doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to think about doing an action to think about an action. Do you know what I mean?
No.
No?
Isn't it?
Like, you can think about doing the action and actually shooting a gun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you can think about like, oh, imagine if I actually shot a gun with no intention of actually doing it and having the motor movement to do it. Because at least at the moment where we are with this stuff is, if you think about doing like drawing a circle, if you think about drawing a circle and you really think about drawing it with your hand, you can see this in brain activity. So you can make a case, and I'm pretty sure in a lot of human-computer interfaces, they do this with people who are like paralyzed or whatever. Mm. They think about moving an arm, and then the arm moves through a lot of complicated coding and decoding processes. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's like what they do with like a prosthetic
exactly.
arm. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well.
So this isn't too far off, but in terms, I don't know if I would say this is reading minds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was an interesting movie though. It was quite interesting. If you've already watched it, let us know in the comments what you thought about the movie.
For the 2 people out there who've watched it.
Oh,
wait, was it on Netflix?
It was on Netflix, yeah.
Okay. Probably people have them.
Yeah. And
probably like the next best thing, and I'm just sitting here pretending that no one.
I know it's actually it's a big it has Chris Pratt in it, Millie Bobby Brown in it.
Chris Pratt?
Yeah, it's a guy from
okay.
Parks and Recreation.
Guardians in the Galaxy.
Yeah, well, he was made famous in Parks and Recreation.
Parks? I don't know that.
It's a funny show. You wouldn't know about it.
Because it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like funny things. Okay, Marco is going to generate his word right now. This is the moment where I take the time to say that, yes, we are actually on Spotify now. You can also follow us on Spotify. You can like the podcast on Spotify, so do that as well. And only if you watched an entire episode, I think fully on Spotify, you are allowed to rate the podcast. So also give us 5 stars nonetheless. And then... on YouTube, you guys need to like already, send us a comment, like some feedback, and go to our shorts everywhere on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am now generating my words. Hold up.
Use this word in a sentence.
I'm just lazy, bro. I just... Thank you, AI. Thank you. Okay, it's gone.
Nice.
I thought you had an iPhone.
I do have an iPhone.
Why do you use Opera?
Because I prefer Opera.
Really?
Yeah.
Bruh. I don't know.
Google Chrome has given me way too much
Safari.
grief over the years. Oh, as in, why do I use Opera on my phone instead of Safari?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember. I would like to think that I remember have a good reason for switching.
Because Opera used to be on the Blackberries, right? The Blackberry phones. Opera Mini, right? That's the entire name, right? Opera Mini.
No idea.
Okay. Well, I
use Opera on my computer anyway.
Really?
And yeah. And maybe that's why I got it on my phone. Maybe because it's synced or something like this. Or Safari was being a pain in the ass, and I used Opera instead.
I've never really had that kind of struggle with a browser before that I really preferred one browser.
Yeah, but have you ever used extensions or plugins or anything?
The only thing I can think about is now with my online education books and stuff like that, it doesn't work on Safari, Firefox, or something else. So I had to go to Google Chrome, and that's the only one that actually supports it, I guess.
Well, what do you mean? Is this for textbooks they give you a link, or
no? It's like an online environment for all the books about math and but it's more like high school kind of books that the entire high school.
So it's like an e-reader online.
Yeah, but it has all the books, all the learning books, the textbooks, and everything from I think every subject available on high schools, and then I just take all the math versions out of it.
Okay.
So and it doesn't work on Safari for me for some reason. So that's why I had to go to another one. But actually, back in the day when I was using the desktop at my mom's place, it was always Firefox, Mozilla Firefox.
Oh, fuck no.
No?
Well, actually, it gets a lot of hate. The only reason I used to... I reacted that way is because I remember back in the day.
Back in the day.
Me and back you, baby. In the day, this would have been...
25 years ago.
Primary school, so...
Oh, so yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. No, let me actually do the maths. 12 years ago, 13 years ago, we had a computer room, and this was it was a while ago, right? It was 13 years ago. So we had the Dell computers.
Yeah.
With an I-1 or something, right?
Yeah.
And everyone would go into IT class and instantly try and boot up whatever Armor Games or Miniclip or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And of course we all did it at the same time. So we're all there and then waiting for like ages.
Yeah.
And I remember Firefox was shit.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was definitely the computer's fault, not the browser. But I feel like it's got a somewhat of a resurgence. Although I'm pretty sure the only reason I saw something about Firefox recently is because they did this shit where that all brands are doing now, where they rebrand their logo.
Yeah.
And they make it like
less detailed,
less nice.
Yeah.
Basically.
I used to like the Mozilla Firefox logo a lot, with like the Firefox around the planet.
Yeah, I think they changed it to a more shitty one.
Yeah,
I think that's why I saw it.
Yeah,
but like I don't actually know where this whole thing came from of companies doing this.
I think it's like
I'm
in the
pretty
whole.
sure
Like,
I watched a video on it, but now I can't remember.
I think it's all about like minimalistic kind of stuff, right? Like nowadays, everyone wants to be like minimalistic. Everyone wants to be like the new Nike logo. Like everyone tries to like copy that effect of like Nike having like just like a swoosh and call it a day, basically.
Which probably actually helps for if they're ever printing stuff as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah. If you want to do screen printing,
save some money probably.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe there's someone actually passionate about like different kind of browsers.
Designers out there.
Any content designers, just let us know what kind of browser do you use. I know there's probably one person that actually could give us like an actual take on like which browser is the person that works at our place. Also watches our stuff. My cousin.
Ah, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has like a very serious take on which browser he would use.
It depends what you want to do. Like there's also two different types of Opera browsers. There's Opera normal and Opera GX, and I think Opera GX is for gaming basically.
Oh, okay.
And I think this is the first one I downloaded, but I switched to normal Opera, but I can't remember why.
Yeah. So if you're that specific person that works at our place, and it's also my cousin, it can be one of two. Please leave a comment saying which browser you use.
Or not, he'll just blank you maybe.
No, I will definitely comment. Now you have to.
Yeah, now we can't escape.
Yeah. No, but actually the movie that I watched on Netflix the other day with my girlfriend, who also loved if I ever mentioned her on the podcast. She's been begging me for 2 episodes already. So I watched the movie with my girlfriend. Now you're in the podcast. Now I can stop talking about you. Actually sparked like quite a interesting conversation, because she asked me, do you think this is actually going to happen like in the future? And
what's your take
to that? I have 2 answers. One answer is
yes, and the other answer is no.
One is yes, the other one is maybe. I don't know. No, so I think people are kind of creating these kind of movies just to show the people this is what we don't want. You know what I mean? I think they're making all these like dystopian society kind of movies just to like tell the people like, look, if we keep on doing this, this will happen. So please change. That kind of thing. Also, 2 is if you look at Back to the Future, for instance, they were predicting like hoverboards, flying cars in 2023 or I don't know, 2030 maybe. It's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, also the world is supposed to have ended a couple of times by now, exactly.
Right? The Mayans were wrong on that one. So I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe in 2020, 2200. Yeah. So like
2200.
2200.
2200.
Wow. Yeah. The 2200.
Well, this is a question actually. Do you say? Yeah, they say that in America, right? Instead of saying 2300, they'd say 2300. Do you ever say that or no?
I say 1990. No, wait, 1999.
No, like forgetting years.
Yeah, what?
Forgetting years.
Yeah.
Right? Are you going to say
9,500
or 9,500?
2069? 4,469 instead of 4,469?
People got to know what I'm talking about. I swear
say it again.
In America,
I'm interrupting.
If it's like 2,400, let's say this is a number for whatever reason, they would say 2,400.
Yeah, I think I'm
instead of 2,400.
I think I would say 2,400 as well, because it's just less words. 2,400.
Minimalist number.
Yeah, but I have it as well with other numbers, but I'm not sure which ones now. Like, something like if it's like 1902. I would say 1902 or something like that.
Yeah, but this is what we do in years. I'm talking about if you're calculating something.
Yeah.
And I feel like people get really recalcitrant about it sometimes. They're like, they stick to what they want to do.
Okay.
Like they think, oh, I'm going to say 2400. I'm going to say 2400, or I'm going to say 2406. But I think if anyone says 2406, they're kind of nuts.
Yeah, I think
but
if I'm doing,
if I'm actually doing years, it's fine. If you say 1906,
if I'm actually doing calculations, I'll literally say 2406 for some reason. Just I'll literally name
like
up
2406. You say 2406.
Yeah, I would say 2406 plus 1069 for some reason. I don't know. I think that's. I have to
think it depends, no?
Because then I have to think less about what the full word is instead of just like naming all the numbers. Because if I'm typing it up in my calculator, I'm not going 100,020, like that. I just do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just Neanderthal.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah, but what do you think?
I don't know, because actually it's decently kind of a topical for me at the moment, because one of my courses is about programming machines.
So can you use this podcast
and
review this teacher?
And also like basically neural representations, but so computational representations of neural networks. So this is basically, let's say you have a network for anyway, there's a lot of neural networks all for different functions, like for memory or for whatever specific type of things, and they try and map these onto computers and have the computer simulate whatever function that the human network would do. Make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, but so it's all it's a course, and they've thrown in a lot of AI stuff now because it's topical.
Okay.
And yeah, one of them is about how we need to instill morals into AI, because at the moment it doesn't have morals and it doesn't understand. And the best example of this would be the fact that it uses whatever data it can get its hands on. I remember seeing, I don't know if it's satire or whatever, but I remember seeing something. It's like there was some guy a while ago who got put in jail for pirating a lot of stuff, basically. And I think it was in the US. And then it came out that
Florida.
And then it came out that Meta, or one of these big OpenAI, whatever, one of these big companies, used like thousands or millions of pirated things to train the AI, which makes sense, because also the AI doesn't. That's what I'm saying, is that the AI doesn't have ethics, right? It doesn't know ethics or morals or any of these human-like constructs that we've made.
Yeah.
Right. Morality isn't a thing that exists. It's a thing that we made up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that we need to teach AI morals and things like this, and emotions and things that we have, in order for them to actually understand it, not to make them have morals, but so that they would understand our morals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But isn't it also that AI doesn't train itself? We have to feed him. Basically, everything AI is doing is whatever we're feeding him, right?
Yeah.
So if we're feeding him morals and emotions and stuff like that, it'll end up being.
And it all comes down to human stuff still. There's nothing that AI has made that hasn't come from a human.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get what I mean? It's just reproducing things that have come from humans. There has been AI, definitely, there's been things where AI takes another AI's works and uses this. Yeah. But even that AI's work would have somewhere before come from.
Yeah, that's like the wrong ripple effect of that.
Like, so it's not generating anything new at the moment. There are things like machine learning and things like this, which is interesting, but yeah, I don't know.
Maybe a better question would be like, if you go like not so focused on AI, but also like robotics and stuff like that, what is something in the future that you would like to see robotics take over? And what is something that you
like an industry,
rather, industry or like specific stuff, or something that you would rather not see robotics take over?
I think any job. Actually, this is a difficult take. The jobs that require a lot of human interaction, for example, you could say even our work at the moment, hospitality, or therapy, or things like jobs which are very intensive in human-to-human interaction.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because I think that the human-to-human interaction is essential in the job, right?
Yeah.
And I think the job would be completely changed without it, and it would be a completely different experience.
This is interesting because you're mentioning hospitality is something that I was also mentioning, because that is something that robotics have kind of taken over the past 2-3 years. Like we've seen more restaurants, especially in Japan, but also here in the Netherlands, that have like robotic servers serving you food. And then basically you haven't, like I've had dinners with my girlfriend. Well, second time mentioning you, so...
Is that your word?
Girlfriend. This is your challenge? No, just kidding. Serving me food for the entire dinner. I haven't seen a waiter yet. And then in the end, I pay with a waiter and they ask me to tip them. Who am I fucking tipping, bro? The robot's family? That's crazy, right? And that's actually something that I wouldn't want to see robotics take over, like the whole hospitality thing.
Yeah, but I also, like, what I'm saying is...
Especially serving, then.
First of all, I think we all know that if you had a restaurant that was completely run by robots with no human supervision, it would be fucking chaos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At least right now. Okay. But another viewpoint from the course that I'm taking is that there won't be machines that don't need our supervision for a long time. Right? And that's because at the moment, a lot of AIs are very brittle. And what that means is that they can be trained to do a task really well, but as soon as anything that's even slightly different from that task, they're screwed.
Yeah.
They have no generalization, basically.
They just malfunction.
And there's ideas that maybe you could have groups of AIs all in the network and they all have specific functions and then they could all combine their knowledge and shit like this. But you would need one for literally every single function in the world. So this could easily get very expensive very quick. But also there's this idea of collective or swarm intelligence, where basically it's this idea that the more people, like if there's people in a group, it's smarter than one person by themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is up to a limit. It's better in smaller groups, and there's a lot of conditions or whatever that you need to do. But in general, I don't know. I don't want to say that I don't think it would happen, but yeah, I don't see it happening.
But let's go into something that we actually would like to see robots take over.
Okay.
What are jobs that we really don't want to do that robots would take over? And do just as good, if not better than us.
Oh, I have a funny one. You know, in the airport, right? You know, if you've booked your case in the hold, like under the plane, and you put it on the conveyor belt, and you have the people who go,
oh yeah, what are they called? Like luggage carriers,
luggage handlers? I don't know.
Handlers, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we've all seen that video.
They throw
where
those
it's
things,
like
bro.
People wondering why their luggage takes so long, and you have these guys who are. It's probably like 5 guys who are just trying to have a fun time, you know. And they're just there, like, like dunking like a 3-year-old suitcase into the fucking.
Yeah.
This should be replaced by
Yeah, this would be nice. Also, maybe.
And I think very easily, actually.
Yeah, right.
But one thing, another point or another take on this is actually, I don't know if it's calmed down a bit, but at least after Corona, a lot of airports were understaffed. Right?
Yeah. Same as here, the public transport.
Yeah.
Buses and trains. Yeah. So many trains have been canceled lately because there's like a lack of personnel.
Still now.
Yeah, still to this day. I think that would be like, trains would be, because basically what are trains actually like? What are trains actually? No, it's like, what are they doing in the whole thing there? Because I'm pretty sure there's a person. I think, wait, this could work. I think you have one person per area, basically doing like switches. So you have a train going with some sort of speed, and then you see like, oh, you need to switch there. Oh, just press a switch and it switches to something else. Like what? Also, this would also help train conductors to be less traumatized when someone actually jumps in front of the train, right? Because there's no one in there. So,
yeah.
But then are we just gonna keep on driving?
I think I can see this working if you have. I don't know if you've heard of this I think Elon Musk project of like some underground highway or whatever.
He already has that.
Yeah, but like
in
actually,
LA.
like
only for Teslas though.
Yeah, and the thing is that I think the idea was, I don't know if this is how it is, that you have cars and they're all Teslas or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they're all basically on like a track, and it's magnets is how it works.
And they're
basically.
all
literally on like a
but also like perfectly spaced in between each other, so there's no crashes whatsoever.
I think actually they have a train like this in
Japan.
Is it Japan?
It's the magnet train. It's at the speed train, right?
Yeah, and
the bullet train,
and it goes really, really fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see this working if they're on tracks as well, because first of all, it would take a lot for that to be fucked up. You could say that if it's going really fast and if there's a lot of force involved, that if it does fuck up, it's bad, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But also with the lack of personnel that we have here in the Netherlands with like train conductors, I think that would be a perfect place to...
But this is even what I'm saying. I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where we could be happy to let the trains do their thing. And there wouldn't be some guy at least sitting in an office looking at the cameras with like an emergency brake.
I definitely think you need a supervisor to have like...
but
because
then,
that's the same what you have like with airplanes. There's always someone in like this like tower, like navigating the entire...
this is like the craziest job in the world, by the way, for sure. Like,
a friend of mine wanted to do that, actually.
I know, like stockbrokers and shit have a stressful job.
That's stressful, bro.
And especially back in the day with Wall Street or whatever. But that's fucked.
Yeah, I know.
Like the air traffic control people. And my only possible insight into the profession is by playing a game back in the day.
You play the game, the
air traffic control simulator or something back in the day. That was fucking amazing. But no, this is definitely really fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Especially because you also have a level of responsibility. If shit goes wrong, it's your fault.
There's like a small margin of error as well, which is like horrible.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at like a flight tracker?
Yeah, I think so. Like
have you looked at the US?
Bro, but that's because of the private planes everywhere. They have so many private planes there, especially if you look at like LA.
Yeah, but they're still planes, right?
Yeah, true. No,
so
but that like tells you why.
And air traffic control still has to deal with them.
Yeah, for sure. But they can also go to like smaller airports instead of the big ones. So if you guys know or have like some sort of field or some sort of industry that you would like to see robots take over, let us know in the comments, or Spotify you can also leave comments. YouTube you can leave comments. So matter of fact, we're just going to give the people like 30 seconds now to go to the comments and actually type in right now, what do you think robots will actually take over, and what do you rather not want to see robots take over? So go to the comments right now.
Yeah, what do you hope they do? What do you hope they don't?
Exactly.
Or do you have hope?
No, we're watching you. Go to the comments. Well, might as well just like the video first. Are you really going to type that? That's fucking just having this like conversation.
The rest of the episode, you try to assume what the other person is doing. Yeah. Oh, you're going to shut us off, huh?
You're going to shut us up? No, I thought it was... I always think this is super interesting, like robots, AI, and... but then also the whole dystopian society kind of things. It's like I used to watch all the movies.
Have you seen Blade Runner?
There's the new one, or
new one. There's and the old one.
I don't think so. I'm so bad with movies.
New one's really good.
Yeah,
I like them.
This is a thing that I want to get better at, which it sounds so dumb. I want to get better at like watching like movies and then having like an opinion or like know things about movies. You know what I mean?
So at the moment for you watch a movie for short-term entertainment and then it's gone.
Yes, exactly. And also I want to, this is even worse. I just want to know what the people are talking about, and I want to talk with them, you know? So this is something I have to come clean about. I have never watched Dune 1 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big a deal. Like,
right?
There's better. I haven't watched Pulp Fiction. Exactly, I haven't watched Fight Club. I haven't watched The Godfather. I want to watch all three of them, but I haven't. And I think this is a way bigger deal than not having watched Dune.
Yeah. I once actually had a challenge with a friend of mine. There was like the top 50 movies that you had to watch before you die or something like that. And we had the list, and we just did like a random dice, 1 to 50, and then we would just roll, and then we would actually watch the movie, and then we were actually going to do all 50 movies, which also included Godfather and Fight Club, whatever, all of them. And we got to 2 or 3 movies because basically we watched the first 2 and they were all shit.
So you watched a couple and then you went back into remission?
Yeah, exactly.
Just into watching other movies?
I went to watching The Greatest Showman for the 5th time. Yeah. No, but it's so bad. Like, I always like to watch this, like how to, or how did they do this scene, or how did they make this, you know? And then I have no clue what they're talking about. For example, with Dune, Austin Butler plays in it. The guy that also does Elvis Presley. Is it Elvis Presley? Elvis, yeah, right? Elvis, the movie. And what I heard about his like whole process before the movie is that he had to go so deep in his role that he trained for a year the voice that he does, the Austin Butler voice, the Elvis Presley voice.
So wait, you're talking about Dune now, or you're talking about
okay,
Elvis?
wait. I'm gonna go into Dune because Austin Butler Austin Butler played in Dune, but
do you know who he played? Or like what his character looked like?
Like the bald guy. It's like a bald guy, fully white, some sort of like competitor, gladiator kind of thing.
Okay. By the way, there's a lot of them.
Okay,
bald guys. But are you talking about the second one?
Yeah.
Second movie? Because there's one guy I can think of, and it was like
has a weird name, like
the heir to like Roth or something like this. Like
yeah, just like a weird name. I don't know. Basically, what I loved about the whole Elvis movie is that he went so deep in character for like a year that after the movie he never got his old voice back. He keeps on talking like Elvis, and in one way it's super sad, but it's super funny.
How is it sad though?
Like, because he went so deep in a role that he kind of got lost in the role, which is the beauty of being an actor, I think. But then he got so deep into it that he just lost his full own like image, like persona, basically. He got lost in the fucking role. So, goddamn.
But like, okay, I mean, I don't want to be insensitive or something, right? But I'm assuming
they're getting paid so much for this, so they should.
No. I'm assuming he's still the same person he was.
I don't know.
If you're telling me that his voice has never been the same since.
Because I'm pretty sure in Dune, he also talks like Elvis. Because that's literally his voice now. I'm pretty sure. Everyone who's...
What does Elvis talk like?
He does...
I really set you up there. Set you up for failure.
No, but it's so funny because like you get to see, everyone's seen this interview before. It's basically doing an interview for Dune, and it's Zendaya, Tom Holland, and it's Austin Butler. So it's like, hey guys, we're on the set of Dune. I'm Zendaya, I'm Tom Holland, and then Austin Butler comes in, he's like, and I'm Austin. And that's his voice now. His entire voice changed because of the movie. Yeah, so how did I get to this? Yeah, I saw a video of him in Dune, and that he had to like do all this like body transformation, like work out really hard, and then shave his head off, and like get into the persona of a person that plays in Dune. I don't know what they do in Dune. I have no clue. Something with a worm, right? And then they do like
there's a worm involved.
Yeah, right.
But his people are like the colonizers.
Oh, that's why they're white.
Yeah, that's why they're white and bald, yeah. And their world is completely black and white.
Nice. So is this in the future, or like how far in the future is this?
That's a good point. I don't know if it's I don't know the lore. I doubt I doubt there's any hardcore Dune fans listening, but if there is,
there's fanfic about it.
But I don't know the lore about it.
Because the only thing I know about Dune is that those people, then we have sand a lot. We have a lot of we have the worm, we have the weird like war sound or something like that. And then Tom
What about
Holland
the war
and
sound?
Zendaya.
Are you talking about that scene where it's the guy going like?
I think it's some sort of like horn that you hear or with the worm, you're like a horn or something. And then also I know that Tom and Zendaya kissed in the movie, and that's it. That's all I know. So yeah. Wait, is it? It's Tom Holland, right? No, it's Timothée Chalamet, bro. I've been saying Tom Holland the whole time. It's Timothée Chalamet, right?
Yeah, it is.
Bro, shit. Okay, so I want to apologize for everyone who's been listening for 10 minutes now.
I mean, I didn't
Me
notice
thinking
either.
it was Tom Holland the whole time. No, that was the weird thing because not weird thing. They're actors, but it wasn't Tom Holland. It was Timothée Chalamet. Which this, what's your opinion on? Do you know Timothée Chalamet, right?
Yeah, from this Dune movie.
From this movie, you have no other reference of Timothée Chalamet. Oh, fuck. Because I don't know, man. I watched Wonka. Have you watched that movie?
No.
It's like the new Willy Wonka kind of version. But he plays Wonka. And he literally plays it like he's a TikTok actor.
Who was Wonka back in the day? Wasn't there like a
Johnny
decent
Depp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a fucking crazy job.
Of course, Johnny Depp is crazy with his roles. He's like, he's literally into it. That's also one of those actors that like literally...
You're talking about like method acting.
Yeah.
Like the most serious example would be like Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger,
Right,
exactly, yeah. And the Joker.
In the Joker.
And the Joker.
You mean in the Dark Knight?
Yeah, but he plays the Joker, so... That was horrible. But like me and my girlfriend. Hey, third mention. There you go.
Yeah, it's got to be your word. There's no way.
No, but we were watching Wonka in the theater, and it was so cringy, bro. It was literally like one of those like back in Corona, you had a lot of like people trying to make it as an actor on TikTok, and they were doing all these like over exaggerated like scenes. And it defined like the TikTok acting. It was so bad. It was so cringy. It's basically like, do you know King Ping Bash from Vine?
Oh, I think so.
The black guy?
There's
nothing
a few of
wrong with
those.
saying that.
No, there's a few of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it rings a bell
King
from
Bash.
Vine. I feel like
He also
didn't
went...
you have a head comb in some of his
exactly.
Vines?
Yeah, that one guy. Yeah. And he also eventually went into acting, which like every movie I've seen where he's in, he's like, you can tell like this was his persona in Vine, basically.
Then the real question is, why are you watching these movies?
That's the thing. Like I watch horrible movies. I don't know why. It's just that's just. Also, me and my girlfriend. We had the choice: either go watch Barbie or Oppenheimer. What did we watch?
Barbie. I mean, apparently it was a really good movie, but Oppenheimer fucking slapped, at least from my perspective. Yeah.
See, I haven't seen Oppenheimer.
I saw it in the big on the big screen in the cinema with my dad. It was really fucking good.
I haven't watched.
It was a good movie. I think it was a really good movie. Yeah.
But there's so many movies that I still need to watch to just be able to talk with people about movies.
Yeah,
also,
I mean, I feel like movie enthusiasts out there, at least from the memes I've seen, would be like talking about some like, I don't know,
like a noir
Czechoslovakian 1 hour short film, black and green with no dialogue.
Yeah, noir movies. Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
It definitely changes over time. I don't think.
Like, what's a movie that you could watch any day, or like?
But then this also completely changes my answer. But like,
what's a movie that you hate?
I'll go through a few. And I'll start more recently. So recently, let me think. I'll start with more well-known ones. There's a movie called Looper.
As in Looper?
Yeah. It was a pretty good movie.
What's it about?
A little bit dystopian-esque.
Okay.
Sci-fi. It's about, from what I remember...
Did you just say sci-fi?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Sci-fi?
No, sci-fi, but I meant like sci-fi
E. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get you.
It's, from what I remember, it's in the future, and it's like there's people who are like kind of contract killers, and they have to kill people who are traveling in time. And they get given like a date and place, and they go to a date and place, and they wait for them there, and then they kill them the second they appear.
Isn't it with the whole like lottery thing that you were talking about? That they catch people. Oh no, you were saying that right now actually like the CAI is like testing people that win the lottery if they're time travelers or something like that, right?
No,
you didn't tell me this.
Sounds like something I'd say, but
yeah. No. Okay, so Looper.
This is a good movie. Yeah, I liked how it ended. I liked most of it. Yeah. Then also the new Blade Runner I liked. Let me think. There's a movie I saw in one of the cinemas here called Monster, and it was a Japanese movie. And so you see it with subtitles, but it was really interesting. It was about like this kid who was getting bullied, and basically the movie was split into 3 parts. The first part was from the kid's perspective. No. The first part was from the mother's perspective.
Okay.
The second part was from the teacher's perspective. And by the way, the teacher was, well, okay, never mind. The teacher's perspective.
Yeah.
And the last one was from the boy's perspective.
Interesting.
And it was really, I really liked it. It was one of those movies where you could easily go into it, look at it, kind of a bit like withdrawn, and at the end of it be like, what the fuck did I just watch? But it's also one of the movies that if you try and extract meaning from it and pay attention to different things, and also just try and reflect on what it's actually saying and what it means, that I think you would really enjoy.
So
it's basically
did it win
playing
like
on different perspectives.
Did it win like a Grammy or something?
It's one of those small movies that wins these random festival
Oscar?
awards or whatever, you know what I mean? But none of the big ones, you know what I mean?
Okay. So it didn't win an award or what?
It probably did, but none of the big ones, I don't think.
Okay.
Maybe it did.
Oscars is for movies, right? Yeah, Grammys is for music, Tonys is for musical.
No idea.
Yeah, okay. My favorite movie back in the day used to be Dr. Dolittle.
I've never seen it.
No, but you know the movie, right?
No.
No? Bro, this used to be my entire childhood.
My childhood, well, the main entertainment or media that I consumed in my childhood was Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I read all the books like 10 times, and I watched all the movies like 10 times. I loved them so much.
Yeah, but I think that's an easy answer because a lot of people have that answer. Yeah. So, but like Dr. Dolittle, it was Eddie Murphy, basically being vet. He was a veterinarian, and he was able to talk to the animals. So that, and like instead of just like guessing, I guess, or like feeling what the pain was, he would just talk to the animals, saying like, "What's your problem?" Like, "Yeah, dog, I got a backache." That's so funny. And then I think in the second movie, because he got a second movie out of it, the daughter of the family also gains this power, and she also goes into like being a veterinarian. And then they made a remake of it, I would say 4 years ago, called Dr.
Do More. Then the last one is Dr.
Do Little less than what the other guy was doing. No, and it was with what's the guy? Tony Stark. What's his name? Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. And I didn't watch the movie because it didn't have Eddie Murphy in it, which I used to be a big fan of Eddie Murphy movies.
Eddie Murphy's the guy who played.
He's like the let me tell you something. That one. He's
the guy
like
who played Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything.
So that's another movie that I haven't watched.
Also a really nice movie.
He plays Coming to America, I think. The two guys from Africa, somewhere in Africa, they come to New York, and I think they either are princes.
I'm thinking of Eddie Redmayne, I think.
No. It's it's like he's like some sort of comedian that end up being an actor. He did a lot of movies, but I just cannot remember which ones. But he's super funny. Kind of like, I would say, like more of the Kevin Hart of my time, basically. So you still don't know? Yeah, fuck it.
No. Yeah.
That used to be, because I used to have like aspirations of becoming a vet as well.
Oh.
Yeah, back when I was young.
Then you went into remission and went into hospitality.
Yeah, exactly. I went full 360, and then a movie that all movies of Liam Neeson I just love as well. You know Liam Neeson? He's Scottish, right?
The Taken movies.
Yeah, all the Taken movies.
That's about it, actually.
You have one Non-Stop, I think it's also one, and one In a Flight. But basically,
I used to love these kind of action,
hunting kind of like
shooter kind of movies, but I've gone off them.
I feel like that's a funny thing.
Because I think they've been overdone, and I think that's why.
Yeah,
because I think there's literally, it's so saturated now.
But
there's so many.
That's the fun thing about his movies, that I don't like him because, well, I do like him just to watch him, but I also like him because he just plays the same role every time. And it's so funny to me. Like he always just like, I'm Liam Neeson's, I will find you and I will kill you kind of shit, you know? Every movie is the same, and you just know exactly what's going to happen. He's going to be like some sort of retired.
Even if he goes out of it, he goes back into remission and becomes like
exactly. Yeah, he goes like he's a retired spy, and it's like, oh, we're looking for a spy. I'm not gonna. I put down my work 5 years ago. I have a family now. Blah 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 blah. And then something happens to his family, and like, okay, now I'm gonna fuck people. I will
find you.
Yeah, I will find you. I will kill you. I fucking love that movie. Yeah, they didn't have to make 3 of them. 2 was enough, but there's also a thing that I talked about. This is the trilogy theory that I have, is that like the first movie is always like insane, and the second movie is like, oh, the first movie was better, and then the third movie you're like, actually this was better than the second, but it's never better than the first. You know what I mean? Because the second movie was always that worse versus the first one, that the third one they couldn't go worse.
I feel like this is an interesting topic actually, because I don't think it just applies to movies.
Seasons of shows,
just anything in general. There's like, before I go into the actual movies, but like in general there's a rule of 3, which a lot of politicians use, and anyone who gives speeches basically, which is, if you're going to give examples of something, you give 3 examples. If you're going to have points, you're going to give 3 points, because for some reason it just feels good when we hear this, or convincing or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? In movies I don't think they do it because of this reason. I think it depends. Maybe it doesn't depend on the movie. But anyway, I'm going to say it depends on the movie. But some movies, you feel like with the story, it could have been a one and done.
Yeah, 100%. Right? Yeah.
And then they make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And they're like,
oh,
we can do this again.
Wait. What if we do the third movie in 2 parts?
And then they throw in some, I don't know, artifact which revolves time, or they throw in some character gets brought back from the dead, and all of a sudden. Then
I've like 2 perfect examples for this. The Divergent trilogy, like Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant. You haven't seen this one?
I feel like I've heard the titles.
Yeah, so like the first movie, everyone's like, wow, this is groundbreaking. We haven't seen anything like this before, even though Hunger Games was already a thing back then. And then the second movie, everyone's like, yeah, so this was basically the first movie, but then worse. And then the third movie, everyone's like, it couldn't be worse than the second one, right? And then, yeah, it got a little bit better, but obviously not better than the first one. Then the same thing goes, I would say, for Hunger Games. Kill me if I'm wrong, but everyone loved the first movie because they were like, holy shit, this is groundbreaking.
It was a pretty new genre,
yeah, right?
From what I remember when it came out.
I think that kicked off the whole like dystopian society kind of genre.
I think it kicked off the fucking Battle Royale game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about that, kids. No Fortnite without Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's true. And then the second movie, everyone's like, yeah, so we're doing a second Hunger Games. We've seen this before. And then the third movie, I
only watched the first one, actually.
And then the third one is actually kind of interesting again, but never as good as the first one. there's way more of these variants of like you have the trilogy, and then the first one is always better than the second one, and the third one just lays in between of them. If you know like a great suggestion, leave it in the comments again.
Do you think you could average this into make it like a statistics thing, where you look at like the perfect amount of movies to release based on how much money you make? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if you could
probably
calculate it. Or do you think people would still
there's
be
probably
really
a reason
stubborn?
there's probably a reason why they do trilogies instead of just like 2 or 4.
But I think sometimes they get recalcitrant and they just do movies for the sake of doing movies for the sake of making money.
Okay.
What?
I've heard this word in the beginning of the podcast, and I was like, no fucking way. What? I don't even know what it is. Recalcitrant? That's your word. It's got to be.
Yeah.
There we go. You used it twice or 3 times?
Ruined. I used it twice.
Twice.
I
Okay.
even threw you a bait with remission, but you didn't buy it.
I definitely heard another R word that I was like, I'm skeptical about this one. But I heard the first one when we were talking about calculations and numbers.
Yeah, because okay, so
I already laughed at that one.
I got
by the way.
this. Yeah, you knew from that.
I knew it from the
But
beginning.
if I felt like if I just dropped a recalcitrant out of nowhere, you would completely know this. So I tried to say calculate before it because they're similar words.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, that was a crazy ass word. Fuck you, ChatGPT.
Yeah, he definitely hold me on this one. I mean, he did a good job on the intro though.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
We make our own intros around here. by
Yeah,
the
for
way.
sure. Yeah. We do. Actually, so far everything we did for the podcast, we did ourselves. Like we made the name ourselves.
Yeah.
We did the logo design ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely don't generate like descriptions for every video that we do that ourselves.
No.
We
We don't have a script.
Actually, also the editing. Oh, imagine if AI did the editing for us, bro. That would have saved so much
This
time.
probably is one of those now, to be fair.
Yeah, it's probably paid.
Yeah, you gotta pay for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, damn, bro, we're at 52 minutes.
But then the last movie, which is the most recent one, which I just remembered. Have you seen advertised a movie called A Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks?
Oh yeah,
And he's this old man who's sad with a dog or whatever.
yeah. I think
This was a remake of a Swedish movie called A Man Called Over. And it wasn't even that long ago. It was like 2010s or something.
it's about a guy in an IKEA house with a dog.
with a cat.
With a cat.
And I watched the original because I saw some short or something
Mm-hmm.
with a specific scene. If anyone's seen the movie, they probably know what scene.
Wait,
I'm
who's in
talking
the
about.
remake? Which actor?
Tom Hanks.
Oh, of course.
And I saw a short of a specific scene from the
We need
new
that
one.
old guy that kind of looks still hot for some reason. Tom Hanks, are you available in September?
Not in this movie, I don't think.
No, okay.
But yeah, I saw a clip from the new movie. And I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. And then I saw the exact same scene from the old movie, right?
That's great.
The exact same scene. And I was like, I swear I've seen this before. And then I looked it up and I was like, damn, they literally just remade it for American people.
I have that same effect with Intouchable. Have you seen this movie before? It's about a rich guy who's basically paralyzed from the neck down. He's in a wheelchair. He needs someone to basically be his caretaker. But all the people that actually show up to the interviews are like so like, because he's also like a famous artist or something like that, or some famous whatever arts person. And everyone's just like basically like sucking his dick, like, oh, I really like your art, this. And then this one black dude comes there. He's like kind of from the hood in Paris. And he's just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about this interview. I've been waiting like 20 minutes in the waiting hall. This is not what you do to a guy. And then he, for some reason, likes the guy because he's different than the others.
It's always like this.
Yeah, and then basically he starts being his caretaker, and then they do all this funny stuff together. But they made a remake in, I think, American version, and it's so bad. Like it loses all the, I don't know, the purity of the movie.
If you watch this movie that I just said, A Man Called Over, you'll understand what I mean. Because it's the
same as
at least the movie that I saw. It's such like a. All of it feels like such like a Swedish movie. Like everything they do, obviously because it's in Sweden, but like it feels like if you were to copy and paste this to another culture, it wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it feels like the movie is in this culture and it revolves around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, imagine like this would be like, it's not the same, but this would be like saying, I don't know, taking some historical battle and then having it between two completely different people and telling the story.
This can lead into a super controversial topic.
Wow.
About all the Disney movies being remade and they recast every culture.
What do you mean, the 7 little dwarves as 7 humongous
7 Dutch people? No, but what I mean is that like people have been like super like annoyed over internet for like, they used to be, okay, now I have to be really careful with what I'm saying. They used to be white princesses and they're now cast as black female actresses, which I don't fully care or mind, but I do see where they're coming from. You know what I mean?
To be honest, I don't. It's never really. It's never been a point where I'm there and I'm like, fuck, I hate this. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's.
I don't really give a shit.
No, I don't give a shit either. No.
I do think it's a bit weird if you're doing. Actually, I know what my take is now.
Okay, here we go.
So, if you're doing a movie where everything is pretty historically accurate, you know, let's say it's a World War II movie, exactly, and you're following this one unsung hero, whatever, right? And you follow it pretty accurately. You have like accurate tanks, accurate warfare, accurate story, and then you change his ethnicity. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
If you're doing a movie where it's not intended to be historically accurate at all, or if you have a movie which is complete fiction, who gives a shit?
Exactly.
You know, all the meet all the fucking inclusivity quotas you want.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
To have a movie where you try to make it accurate and then change one massive part of it in the main character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just like make it historically accurate, make it culturally accurate, I guess. Like if you have
if you're gonna go down that route, go down that route.
Exactly.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Just be accurate. I think that's a pretty nice note to end this episode with, right?
Yeah.
This is an example of an episode where both of us didn't get our word out, or one of us gets challenged.
What did you get?
Mine was ripple.
Ripple?
I used it once. I said like it's kind of like a ripple effect.
You could have easily stood that.
I was like hesitant for some reason. Like I was looking for the ripple effect, but it didn't really work. I was also very into the topic.
Could have used it like a wave as well.
Yeah. You would have gotten it. Well, anyways.
Or raspberry ripple.
Fuck.
Isn't that like a flavor of something?
I don't know. Just using alliteration right now.
No, raspberry ripple is like a flavor of some kind of either vape or like
probably a vape.
Like it probably exists in a lot of things.
Vape.
Actually,
well, so the scores are still 1-1. Yeah. So, bro, I have no clue. We should just make AI do the outro.
Fuck no, man.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed the episode, let us know. If you hated the episode, let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts on some of the topics we talked about. Favorite movies, or anything that you would like to see AI take over, not take over. We kind of went around the place. We talked about AI, we talked about movies, we talked about a lot of random shit. But if you have any thoughts, throw in your 5 cents in the comment.
Or
in
10.
the comments,
or 10 cents.
Yeah, or 20 cents if you think your opinion matters that much. But yeah, let us know. Also, whether you like the concept as a whole, the game, any feedback on the game is also interesting.
Yeah, so follow the podcast on Spotify, and after you listen to the full episode, you can rate it 5 stars out of 5.
That's the only option.
Yeah, exactly. Go to Instagram, TikTok, and like our shorts. Leave some comments there. Follow us on there, and follow on YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we upload. And damn, I peaked. Okay, that's it for this one. Yeah. See you guys.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.